to our handsome instructor, Mr. Rexes James D. Lopez, to my fellow classmates, I'd like quickly introduce myself. My name is Maria Sonia Barbosa Celestial, a Bachelor of Science and Entrepreneurship 2B. I'm going to present a short speech presentation about the perception is real and truth is not. Evicted 254 families to make a room for their perceived safari park. All of us have our own perception in life. We all have our own insights and opinions that we want to share with others. Perception is subjective, meaning it takes world completely in the mind of the person who perceives it. In this case, a sequence of mental gymnastics can be easily turned anything into a make-believe or an illusion. Reality, on the other hand, is objective, which implies it exists fully outside of the perceiver's mind and is hence immune to mental manipulation. As a result, perception and reality are not synonymous. Because they are diametrically opposed, claiming that perception is real is a fallacy. That was initially with my own understanding on what happened. But once I realized the reality, they became significant characters in the movie and eventually took over. In a sense, the narration of events times to the current. Imelda says something that is quite revealing. Perception is real, truth is not. Do you believe she realized what she was saying? Was it a mishap with the mask? It does speak to their genius, and that one of the things I sought to convey was her freedom, since she's been portrayed as deluded or insane in the past, which is comparable to how Trump has been treated. I believe that underestimating these individuals is quite harmful. Were you able to gain the trust of Marcos family? Were they receptive to the approach and your advice? I would still not call it respect because it wasn't their maiden rodeo and they were well aware of the media's tactics. Imelda was quite receptive to the procedure and friendly, and I believe she loved the journalists with whom I was collaborating. She was anxious to share her experience, and as the matriarch, she is powerful when she sets her mind to something. She was well aware of her limitations. One of the things that struck me about her was how at ease she was with the Filipino people. She'd need to go into throngs of tens of thousands of underprivileged people, as if she were Mother Teresa, perfectly at ease with everyone in her private boundaries. She has a gift for connecting with the people of the Philippines, particularly the poor, which we see her son lacks. He was up in a highly protected, privileged environment of power, and he appears noticeably uneasy in front of such a large throng. She simply enjoys it. The film contains several unsettling scenes in which we witness Imelda handing away cash to impoverished children. She places cash in the hands of needy children in urban areas and in hospitals. You'd believe it was all planned for the camera if it weren't for the people's absolutely spontaneous reactions. When narcissism gives birth to a type of humanity, as it appears to have done with Imelda, something unusual happens. There's a point at which self-involvement becomes childlike simplicity. Do you feel that you came to know Imelda in a genuine, honest way by the conclusion of the shoot, or was there still barrier? I had the impression that she constantly presented herself in the same way. When they were on the sidelines at the start of movie, she was a little more vulnerable. The film plot developed as the environment around her changes, as well as what the viewer discovers as to what occurred and who she is through other people. Perception is real, but the truth isn't. Imelda Marcos said in the documentary The Kingmaker, which was recently published. This appears to become the ethos of Marcos' comeback strategy. The Marcos propaganda network concentrated its efforts on hyping up achievements of the martial law administration, rejecting atrocities and verifying opponents, in addition to explaining the family's wealth and concealing enormous corruption throughout the martial law period. It makes no difference what the facts are. Exaggerated or fake accomplishments were made. The lack of coverage was attributed to the biased media, which was said to have kept the information kept from the general population.